This video brings an urgent message that Jesus specifically wants you to hear. You are walking directly into a spiritual trap that has been carefully set by the enemy, and Jesus is deeply concerned you might not see it coming. This isn't just another warning video. It's a divine alert that could save your spiritual life. The trap you're approaching has been designed specifically for you, targeting your weaknesses and desires. The message you're about to receive has been arranged to reach you at this critical moment, before you fall completely into the enemy's snare. There's a divine intervention happening right now as you watch. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to learn could prevent you from walking straight into spiritual destruction. Jesus sees the trap ahead and wants to pull you back to safety. This isn't an ordinary spiritual message. It's a divine alert about a carefully planned trap that's been set specifically to destroy your faith and spiritual progress. The enemy has been watching your spiritual journey with evil attention, studying your patterns, and preparing this snare just for you. Missing this particular warning could mean walking straight into spiritual bondage that will take years to escape. This trap represents a critical turning point that could derail your entire relationship with Jesus. The enemy cares so much about stopping your spiritual growth that he has invested significant time and effort into creating this deception. That's why this message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't coincidence. It's a divinely orchestrated rescue mission designed to help you see the trap that's been placed directly in your path. Jesus is pulling back the curtain to show you exactly what the enemy has prepared, but you must listen carefully to avoid falling into it. Every moment of spiritual confusion you've experienced lately has been noticed by Jesus. Every time you've felt pulled in different directions or questioned what was really from God has been acknowledged. All the times you've wondered if you were being spiritually attacked, yet tried to stay faithful anyway, have been honored. Your spiritual struggles with deception haven't gone unnoticed. Those moments when you felt like everyone else had clear spiritual direction, but you were walking in fog, Jesus saw your frustration. The times when your discernment felt cloudy and you couldn't tell truth from lies, yet you kept seeking him anyway. That persistence was recognized in heaven. The courage it took to keep believing when everything felt spiritually confusing has been deeply valued. The questions you've carried about whether you were hearing God's voice correctly have all been acknowledged. Spiritual warfare isn't always obvious, and enemy traps aren't always clear. Jesus understands this challenge, which is why he's making this particular trap so visible you can't possibly miss it. The trap Jesus wants you to recognize appears in situations that look like God's blessing, but are actually the enemy's deception. This trap shows up as opportunities that seem too good to pass up, relationships that feel spiritually significant, or decisions that appear to align with God's will but lead you away from his true path. It appears in voices that sound wise and spiritual, but slowly pull you from biblical truth. It emerges in circumstances that make you feel special or chosen, but actually isolate you from healthy spiritual community. This trap is uniquely designed for your specific spiritual journey, something the enemy has personally crafted to catch you off guard. It connects directly to the prayers you've been praying and the spiritual desires you've been carrying. The enemy chose this particular trap because it appeals to your heart in ways that feel genuinely spiritual. The window to recognize and escape this trap won't remain open forever. When you finally see it clearly, you'll understand exactly how close you came to spiritual disaster. When you recognize this trap that's been set for you, many confusing spiritual experiences will suddenly make perfect sense. Strange spiritual encounters, conflicting messages you've received, and gut feelings that something wasn't quite right will all connect in a moment of divine clarity. Jesus has incredible news for you today. Your spiritual discernment is growing, stronger, and important protection is being activated around you right now. The divine has recognized your sincere heart despite the confusion, and now you've been chosen to receive this life-saving warning. This moment marks something significant in your spiritual warfare journey. It's a clear indication that your ability to recognize enemy tactics is developing rapidly. Something incredibly powerful is happening in your relationship with Jesus, far deeper spiritual protection than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of this trap begins a spiritual awakening that will touch every area of your life, from your decision-making to your relationships to your sense of divine purpose and calling. There's a wave of heavenly protection surrounding you right now. You're becoming more spiritually alert to enemy tactics, naturally drawing divine warnings into your daily experience. Recognizing this trap brings heightened awareness of Jesus' protection in even the smallest details of your spiritual life. More spiritual insights about recognizing deception will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this season when the enemy is intensifying his attacks against faithful believers. Your prayers for spiritual protection matter more than you realize. Your spiritual sensitivity inspires heaven to reveal enemy plans before they succeed. Your faith makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere around you. This divine warning shows that Jesus deeply values your spiritual growth and refuses to let the enemy destroy what he's building in your life. Each time you've resisted temptation or questioned something that felt spiritually off has prepared you to recognize this major trap before falling into it completely. The timing of this trap warning is no coincidence. It comes now because you're spiritually mature enough to handle this level of spiritual warfare revelation. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in faith and discernment enough to act on what you're about to learn. Your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see enemy tactics that might have been invisible to you before. Your heart has been strengthened through previous spiritual battles. Your wisdom about recognizing deception has deepened through experience with the enemy's subtle methods. Your soul is now prepared to receive this divine warning more clearly than ever before. All the spiritual confusion you faced has been preparation for recognizing this specific trap. Nothing in your spiritual journey has been wasted. Every battle has shaped your ability to see enemy snares when they appear. This particular trap is connected to larger spiritual warfare happening globally. Jesus is revealing similar enemy plans to those who are spiritually alert and ready to fight back. If you're feeling grateful for this divine warning about the trap ahead, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20 or more to support our channel's mission of exposing enemy tactics and sharing protective messages. Your generosity helps these crucial warnings reach those who desperately need to recognize the traps being set for them. When you give, you participate in spiritual warfare that allows us to continue creating content that protects believers from enemy deception in these dangerous times. As you begin to recognize this trap that was set for you, new spiritual warfare awareness will naturally develop in your life. This clearer vision brings new responsibilities, not just to protect yourself, but to help everyone in your circle who might be walking towards similar enemy snares. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Jesus' work of protecting his people from deception. This revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity as someone who can recognize and warn others about enemy tactics. Finding balance becomes essential during this spiritually intense time. While avoiding the specific trap that was set for you, remember to nurture your relationship with Jesus through prayer, scripture, and fellowship with other believers. These spiritual disciplines have protected you this far and will continue, supporting you as you grow in spiritual warfare discernment. Jesus is inviting you to become more than just someone who avoids traps, but a person who helps others recognize enemy deception too, as you become sensitive to this enemy trap that was targeting you. Think about how you can help others who are walking towards similar spiritual snares. Your experience shows that the enemy is constantly setting traps, even when we fail to notice his tactics. Heaven witnesses every moment when someone recognizes enemy deception before falling into it. Your story of receiving this warning brings hope to people feeling spiritually confused or wondering if they're under spiritual attack. Your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see the traps the enemy is setting all around them. This warning about your specific trap isn't meant to be private knowledge. It's an invitation to help others experience the same divine protection. Jesus often works through those who have recently escaped enemy snares to help awaken others who are still walking blindly toward spiritual destruction. Your newfound awareness serves as both personal protection and ministry opportunity to rescue others from the enemy's carefully planned deceptions. As you navigate this new level of spiritual warfare awareness, stay consistently alert to enemy tactics. Jesus reminds you that while recognizing one trap is wonderful, it's just the beginning of a lifetime of spiritual battles against deception. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see this trap in the first place. Guard against returning to spiritual complacency that made you vulnerable to enemy attacks before. Let your spiritual awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to Jesus' voice above all other influences. With this new ability to recognize enemy traps comes ongoing responsibility to remain watchful and discerning. Use this gift wisely to distinguish true divine guidance from false spiritual signals that sound good but lead to destruction. Not every spiritual experience is from God, and not every opportunity is a blessing. Embrace this journey of spiritual warfare with both humility and confidence. The enemy will try new tactics once this trap fails, so stay connected to Jesus daily through prayer, worship, scripture, and fellowship with other believers who can help confirm what you're sensing spiritually. Picture a future where you consistently recognize enemy traps before walking into them. Imagine divine protection surrounding your spiritual life, warning signals arriving precisely when needed, and your understanding of spiritual warfare expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. Jesus stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of spiritual alertness with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine protection through recognizing enemy tactics before they succeed. This marks the beginning of a time when your spiritual discernment, wisdom, and heart will be more aligned with heaven's perspective than ever before. Accept this blessing with gratitude and remember that you're surrounded by divine support on this journey of spiritual warfare. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience Jesus' protection through warning signs that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually trained eyes. What victory awaits as you learn to recognize and avoid every trap the enemy sets for you. Your spiritual radar is now calibrated to detect deception before it can cause damage to your faith or calling. If this protective message has opened your spiritual eyes, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a powerful spiritual partnership and allows us to continue exposing enemy tactics to believers who need these warnings most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others recognize the traps Satan is setting in these last days. If you're ready to declare that you see the trap and refuse to walk into it, type 999 in the comments below as your declaration of spiritual awareness. The journey of recognizing and avoiding enemy traps continues beyond this revelation. As you step into new spiritual warfare awareness, Stay grounded in scripture and prayer that keep your discernment sharp and accurate. Every trap you recognize and avoid could be the exact warning someone else has been praying to receive. Your growing spiritual alertness serves as inspiration for others, wondering if they're under spiritual attack or walking toward danger. Move forward with a watchful heart, a discerning mind, and a spirit that's quick to obey Jesus' protective warnings. Create opportunities for others to recognize enemy deception as you enjoy the safety that comes from spiritual awareness. The language of spiritual warfare has always been part of how Jesus protects those who love him. By choosing to stay alert to enemy tactics, you join a long tradition of faithful believers who have learned to recognize his voice above all the noise and confusion he creates. Victory in spiritual warfare comes through staying close to Jesus and trusting his warnings above everything else you hear.